Or intro music fading out. You know what separates the Premier League contenders from the pretenders? It's not just star power or budget, it's how they plug the cracks before the season starts. And this summer, those cracks are screaming for attention across England. Let's break this down. Take Arsenal. Declan Rice played 4,456 minutes last season. That's not just heavy minutes, that's a recipe for burnout. Imagine carrying your team's midfield engine all season, then showing up to the World Cup looking like a zombie. Mikel Arteta clearly doesn't trust Christian Norgard, which feels harsh, but here we are. The bigger question: why does every club think they can just outwork their way to success? Rest isn't a luxury, it's a strategy. Ask Manchester City how that worked for them with their midfield carousel. Now, let's talk about a club that's flying under the radar, Aston Villa. 4th place and a Europa League win? They're not just building a squad, they're building a legacy. But Lucas Digne to PSG? Come on. Ian Maatsen solid, sure, but Champions League football demands rotation. Why does every elite club suddenly panic when a key player gets a sniff from a bigger club? It's like their training ground for the superclubs. Bournemouth's right-back situation is just sad. Adam Smith's a legend, but he's 35. They signed Max Aarons and Julian Araujo, neither worked. Now they are scrambling. This is the definition of a mid-table trap. Sentimental loyalty meets poor planning. Contrast that with Brentford, who are quietly fixing their left-back issue. Rico Henry's been a warrior, but his injury stats are terrifying. Sometimes you have to cut bait early, right? Brighton's midfield is a geriatric ward. James Milner and Pascal Gross? That's like bringing a flip phone to a smartphone war. And yet, they're letting their young guns, Baliba, Ayari, get linked to exits? Brighton, you're better than this. Build around youth, not nostalgia. Chelsea's situation is just chaotic. Goalkeeper, centre-back, left wing. They're spending £200 million but still can't fix the most obvious hole. Robert Sanchez has been a disaster. Why does Chelsea always overcomplicate simple fixes? Wait, Coventry's back in the top flight after 25 years and they don't even have a starting goalkeeper? That's brutal. Carl Rushworth's their lifeline, but they can't agree on a fee. Promotion's supposed to be the hard part. This is like getting a golden ticket and losing it at the airport. Crystal Palace's backline is a house of cards. Lose Mark Gahey and their win rate plummets? That's not defense, it's dependency. And Newcastle's fullback crisis? Livramento and Hall are great, but injuries happen. Selling Trippier and Target was short-sighted. You don't need a crystal ball to see this ending in tears. But here's the kicker. Every club's problem isn't just a transfer away. It's about identity. Are you a builder or a Band-Aid applicator? Liverpool replacing Salah with Barcola? That's not a solution, that's a Hail Mary. And Manchester United's midfield? They're collecting midfielders like Pokemon cards. But do they even know what they want? Pause for effect. At the end of the day, this transfer window isn't about flashy signings. It's about honesty. Who's brave enough to admit their weaknesses? Who's arrogant enough to ignore them? And how many title races will come down to the guy sitting in the transfer committee room, Googling emergency loan deals at 11:59 p.m. Let me know in the comments, who's making the smartest moves, and who's just lighting money on fire.